If you're a prepper, more than likely you've been paying closer attention to the news than most people. It gets overwhelming, confusing, and stressful. I want you to break that cycle. I want you to build up your level of understanding. I want you to focus your efforts. Your body will thank you. Heightened blood pressure, depression, anxiety, increased stroke and heart attack risks are primary second effects of living under constant stress and daily living, and the normal problems are stressful enough. The noise also robs you of the ability to prep with a purpose. It causes you to lose sight of clearly defined goals and your most precious resource other than your time, your physical and mental health. Let's go over 3 things you can do to refine and define how you approach prepping. Understanding tech is not an optional requirement. The latest news has you looking up at a balloon while things have been going on the ground, for a long time. No one bats an eye when every report saying certain apps are collecting information. The reality is that the majority of people are not important enough to monitor. However, entire populations would be, as you can track resources and public sentiment about things that are happening. Certain military or gov officials may use these apps, but you can be sure their traffic is monitored closely. The same goes for your phone. The vast majority of phones use foreign parts. Other OSINT data freely available, including the information that you give up when you click I agree, also helps paint a picture. The truth is, if you're worried about nation-state actors breaking your comms, nothing is impenetrable. You can look this up. It's why certain facilities make you physically leave your cell phone in a secure cage, including any smartwatch. That level of total control was strengthened around 2016, and you can only imagine the advances made since then. Any kind of tech upgrades you make to your preps needs to build this into consideration. A realistic need versus want filter is crucial. While we're covering tech, understanding the media and news and the psychology behind its approach is essential to building discernment. It's crucial to understand that staying informed is a double-edged sword, especially if you do it wrong. You obsess over stories you can't control. You buy into certain narratives, presented as reality, while ignoring that the anecdotal evidence you see is regional or local. Other factors like panic buying as a result of this news only strengthens your viewpoint, like the toilet paper run of 2020. It is perfectly fine to know what's happening. How else are you going to make calculated decisions? The problem that arises is through what I like to call the gift of the grift. Revenue is generated through attention. It always has been. Sensational journalism has been around forever as well. It will always be the end of the world. War is always on the horizon. Anyone can be the enemy, etc. This is all part of how they keep you coming back for more and clicking that next link. This is their game. The same way companies who sell bullion tell you that the dollar is failing and to buy their gold, while only accepting dollars and euros as payment. The miners didn't get rich. The people who sold the shovels and equipment did. A 2007 study by the Pew Research Center showed that over 2 decades of news about terror and war consistently ranked at the very top of the attention list. It gets engagement, and while I think I could probably gain more engagement myself by helping aid this cycle, this isn't what I want to be known for. Building a critical thinker that can analyze the world around them effectively and then go out and begin to make a positive impact just isn't appealing from a quick quarterly profit standpoint. I want you to remember some key points to ground yourself in the midst of this news cycle chaos. Over 100 years, life expectancy doubled and child mortality fell under 10% on a worldwide average. Despite the recent economic woes, nearly every country's GDP is still far above any other point in history, and food production is also still at an all-time high. Global wealth inequality is less evident than before, and extreme poverty is falling. Not fast enough, but it's less prevalent than in 1923. Keep in mind that the news survives on revenue gained from stories that focus on the most negative aspects of the world. Keep going, but steer in the right direction. Any experienced navigator will tell you if you're off by 3 degrees, it might not matter so much if you're still close to the starting point. but you're going to drift further and further from the intended destination the longer you go on. And lastly, build yourself up in order to make serious impact. I want you to maximize your income. This is different than saying love money and make profit at all costs. More income means you can buy more supplies. You can spend it learning a trade or additional skill, and you can use it to train with the tools of your trade. You can set aside time for fitness because now you have more energy, because you don't have to work 16-hour days just to cover the essentials. If you're struggling and live in your car by necessity, and you try to give advice to someone young and impressionable about how to live, will they listen to you? Will they listen to you rant about the economic state of the world today while watching you count your change to see if you can afford a burger to eat? If you've got a nice dwelling and a small farm and talk to them about the benefits of a prepared and self-sustaining life, don't you think they'd listen to you even more? You might not even have all of that right now, but that's your goal. So you're both building to that dream life. Don't you think they'd want to follow along with you on that journey because your mutual success fuels each other to improve as well? That's the entire concept of having a gym buddy. You will push each other harder than going alone. Think about this point carefully and create a plan. Have that big goal, but break it down into smaller, actionable steps. Even if you plant a fruit tree and begin a small garden, or you've saved enough to go back and learn a new in-demand skill, you're starting. Starting is the hardest part. You haven't settled into the cadence of your life on this particular part of your march, and that's okay. You might speed up, slow down, get hurt along the way, but you know where your goal is, and it's up to you to arrive to it. I hope that this year you build up your level of understanding and resilience. Propaganda is everywhere, and not all of it will have a good goal for you in mind. It could be as scummy as keeping you addicted on despair for dollars, or it could be more subversive and evil and lead you to abandon all hope. I'll be a voice to tell you, help each other and help yourselves. Everything else is noise. Be good, stay safe, and have a good one.